Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Hi, hello, this is my face. And this is Child of Luna's channel. I'm learning, it doesn't have Tara in the name. Yeah, this is my face. This is like just an experiment because I'm recording with my phone now. I don't have my camera with me. It broke. It's broken. And I moved to Ireland, so I don't have anything with me aside from my phone, and I want to get videos up there. So we're gonna be experimenting whether with my face or with top-down view, because my phone stops recording all of a sudden and I don't have any way to tell. And sometimes I do remember last time I recorded was like a week ago, and it was a mess because the video kept cutting and my phone stopped recording all of a sudden, so here I am. Alright, so today we're gonna be talking about, give me one second. Okay, so today we're gonna be talking about what would it look like if you were together. We're gonna be checking the energy between you two. Who is this? A and B, because we're gonna be talking about two people, as in you and this person. But we talk about energies instead of people, so A and B. And the energy towards the connection, both of them, the A and B, and also kind of like their energy, your energy, what do you bring together? Basically, I'm sorry if I confuse you. We're also going to be talking about the obstacles or challenges that you might face if you work together with this person, strengths you bring to the relationship, and what can help you overcome these obstacles, and also what can you do to attract a relationship with them, if that's even possible. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they can be in a committed relationship and that's not even possible. You can, even if you want to attract a relationship with them, you can't, because they're with another person, they're committed. You know what I mean? So this is kind of like the reality. And guidance moving forward. We're also going to have an extended, the link will be in the description, and in the extended we're going to be talking about what do you need to individually work on before getting together, what do you need to work on as a couple, what lessons can you learn from the past that would benefit you in this connection, also how can you build trust in a relationship, and what is the potential for a long-term relationship with this person. So those would be the topics in the extended version, and the first ones that I said would be in this video. Alright, so I don't have anything set up. I'm gonna be using only one deck of cards, and my spirit animal, and this one, the Love Oracle, because it helps a little bit. But I'm gonna be relying heavily on my gifts, so I don't have any stones with me at all. So I'm also gonna ask you to rely on your intuition only, as in like what kind of group do you want to look, like 1, 2, or 3. If your intuition is a little wonky today, you can go to Google and search for random number generator from 1 to 3, and voila. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna give you just a few seconds. You can pause the video if you'd like, if that gives you a little bit more time, and I'm gonna be channeling or focusing or meditating as you decide. So here we go. Hello group number 1, welcome to your video, or to your reading. I'm just shuffling now. We're going to be checking their energy. Who is this? A and B. So this is A. The person A is represented by the whale. And person B is represented by starfish. I also got one more card, so this could be like a third party, or a person that is with this person, you know what I mean, or with you, you know what I mean. So it could be like a third person involved. So I'm gonna set this aside just in case it pops up, or just in case it's mentioned in the future. All right. Let's see. So, who is this person? Number one, we have the whale. I'm looking at my dandy book because I'm still not used to animals as energy. So the whale represents profound emotional health and stability. So this person could have, this person could be not very much afraid of emotional expression, or not be afraid at all of emotional expression, or traversing difficult terrain, as they have overcome many challenges in their life. So this person is very emotionally mature. These experiences have enriched them, giving them stability, strength, and a depth that is rare. Whale energy is usually linked to the feminine forces of compassion and communication, so they have a very feminine essence. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost, and trust them to be a beacon in our deepest and darkest hour. So they're very calm, steady, and they are deeply compassionate. And yeah, this is person A. So this feels like it is someone that is very female, has a very feminine energy. All right, I'm not saying that they are female, but just saying the energy is very female. All right, very stuff. All right, then we have the starfish, which is in the same category. It's in the water. It's in the water. Duh. Starfish is always in the water. Duh. But it's in the water element, and I just passed through it. Where is it? Oh, there we go. So, starfish is person B. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. Being around someone with starfish energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. The problem is, these creatures have been reliant on how they look and what other people think of them for so long that they may have forgotten their deeper callings. When this card appears, it's important to ask, am I being swamped by outward appearances? What dreams have I put aside to please others? So this person is absolutely beautiful externally, but inside they seem to kind of like be very, I wouldn't say persuasive, but kind of like they change accordingly, you know what I mean? And they're very beautiful on the inside. They just don't know about it. They just, it's kind of like unconsciously they're so deep that sometimes unconsciously they kind of like put makeup on, or do something outside on the outside outwardly. That kind of like sometimes is a mirror, like their beauty is a mirror to the inside, but because they don't realize this, it's kind of like meh, you know. So they may appear very superficial or shallow even, because of their beauty, but they're very alluring, like kind of like they may okay. Now for the starfish. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. Basically, being around someone with starfish as an energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. The problem is, these creatures have been reliant on how they look and what other people think of them for so long that they may have forgotten their deeper callings. So basically, they're very beautiful and alluring on the outside, but on the inside, they may appear very shallow or very superficial. You know what I mean? They may kind of like it's kind of like you get mesmerized by the potential of this person for how they look. You know what I mean? But they're very expressive. They're very uplifting. It's very good to be around them, but they seem very superficial because they don't recognize the deepest parts of them that make them even more alluring. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like this person B has this amazing potential that they don't know they have, and they don't use it because they don't know they have it. And if you are person A, you recognize this and you try to heal it, but it's just kind of like sometimes it gets frustrating. I'm feeling a little bit frustration. But if you are person B, this person A makes person B feel good, feel taken care of, but it's kind of like they don't forget. It's a weird healing dynamic, but it can become a little bit problematic, if you know what I mean. So that's A and B. You're the one that's gonna tell me which one you are. So energy towards the connection. A's energy towards the connection. So we have Son of Cups for person A and Mother of Wands for person A. And person B, their energy towards the connection. Ooh. So for person B, we have Ten of Swords and the Hermit. So the energy for person A, the Whale, their energy is very, like I said, it's very healing. I'm going to be moving around because I'm sitting on the floor. It's kind of uncomfortable. So basically for person A, this person, like I said, is very healing. They're very, I wouldn't say romantic, but they are very emotionally available for person B, because they realize the potential, they want to be with them, and it's just kind of like, you know, you want to save them. I wouldn't say save them, but you want to help them. You want to make them realize the potential that they have, and that there's nothing wrong about it. It's just, it can get frustrating because they don't see it. It's kind of like person B, keeps doing the same thing, and you have hopes, high hopes for them. You want them to kind of like to see their own potential, but it's like they have a blindfold, you know what I mean? They can't see it, and they kind of like go with the crowd. And it's very hard for person A to manage all of that while caring for them and healing them. It's kind of like you have the deepest conversation sometimes, and it's like this spark of, you know, you're getting there, but then you go to sleep and you wake up in the next morning and they're the same. And you understand that, but it gets a little, I'm feeling a little anger. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you get angry. I feel like for some people it's anger against themselves, as in, why can't I make this possible? But also anger towards this person. It's frustrating to be here all the time and trying to make them see their worth. They're more than this. You're more than this. Like, they have a very traumatic past. And that's why they are like this. That's why they appear so beautiful. But on the deepest side of them, they hide it. It's kind of like they are afraid of the world and afraid to go against the crowd. But they go with the crowd because they don't want to face rejection. You know what I mean? That's what I'm feeling, like the dynamic. It's very savior-ish. Yeah, it's a very, it's a dynamic. I'm not gonna say anything else. I also got Mother of Wands, which goes hand in hand into wanting to nurture them, wanting to make them realize their worth, because the Wands is very fiery, very expression. It's very, nurturing in itself, but it's kind of like you have your potential, you can get the hell out of this, you know what I mean? I just want you to see it. I want to nurture it, but you have to be the one to see it, you know? So, the energy, starfish energy towards this connection is the Ten of Swords and the Hermit. This is basically, the Hermit is a self-isolation, imposing self-isolation. So perhaps this person could be hot and cold, as in they come to you, they talk to you, have very deep conversations, but then they go very quiet, as in they're reflecting. But it doesn't seem like they're reflecting because there's not much change on the outside, right? And it seems like with the Ten of Swords, they have a lot of issues, traumas, and unresolved situations that prevent them from healing that, or they think it prevents them from moving forward, because the Ten of Swords is a card of trauma. It's a card of, being stabbed in the back, betrayal. They may have trust issues, but it's very painful to look at this card. That's why I chose this deck. It's my shadow deck. We're not here to just see the light, which I can do with the animal spirit. We saw the light, but this tells me the story. This tells me the shadow aspects that go hand in hand with everything else. So the Ten of Swords to me is very painful to look at, because it's a bowl full of swords, and there's a sword going from one eye to the other, and it reminds me of my culture, Portuguese culture. We have touradas, which is basically a bull running around, and there's a bunch of people stabbing them in the back. It's a cultural thing. I respect it. I just don't want to watch it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, it's painful for me to watch. So it reminds me of trauma, right? It reminds me of the things that we don't want to face. It's kind of like, it's painful, basically. It's very painful. So that may be the one thing that is preventing them from doing so, from believing in themselves, believing that they can get out of the situation. Because I'm having a very, right now, because I'm channeling and I'm sitting on the floor, I'm having a very prominent feeling of feeling of urgency, of wanting to get out of the situation, but because you're surrounded, you have no way to run. You can run around the situation, but you can't escape it. So it's this feeling of, this is gonna happen, and I'm gonna suffer for this. I didn't choose to go through this, but I'm gonna suffer for this, and I'm never gonna be the same. So it's basically this feeling, you know what I mean? It's not very pleasant. Sorry, moving around again. You see, this is why I'm recording with my front camera, because it just stopped on me. So yeah, that's basically the energy that they have towards the disconnection. Is they go in and out, but they can't seem to bring themselves to change. They rely on you, but it seems like they don't trust you completely. And while, or vice versa, you rely on them, but you don't seem to trust them completely, right? Because of all of these things. So person A wants to nurture person B, but person B doesn't trust him completely. So it's kind of like this back and forth, sorry. It seems to be working for now, but it's not ideal for a relationship because of this. like it seems like person A attracts a lot of these kinds of people that, like, I wouldn't say damaged, but um people that went through the darkest shit, and they're having a hard time healing it or recognizing it, or kind of like having empathy towards oneself. That's the kind of people that person A, the whale, attracts. Because they want to see a better world. They want to see people. They want to see people happy, and it's kind of like they want to do it themselves, because, if you want a better world, start by yourself, right? Be the change you want to see the world. There you go. But it just doesn't seem to be working. And this could lead to a heartbreak, either not only for person B, but also for person A. Because they're putting a lot of faith in person B, and they don't seem to be seeing the results that they want. And person B is relying heavily on person A, but they retract a lot. So person B may actually lose person A, because person A may get tired of that sort of dynamic. Because, like I said, the whale has a lot of emotional balance, maturity. And because of that, they may recognize sooner or later that this kind of dynamic is not going to work. So they may distance themselves, and when person B wants to rely on them for emotional knowledge or for emotional comfort, they may not be there as much anymore. So it seems like this dynamic is not, just for the looks of it, it doesn't seem like it's gonna work for the long term. It just seems like this person is passing by, getting some knowledge, even though person B may not know this is knowledge, but they're gonna learn sooner or later, hopefully, when person A takes a step back. So, all right, this is just by reading the energy and the how they interact with one another, the energy towards the connection from person A, person B. All right, so the whale and starfish. We still have the fish here. So I'm gonna read real quick. This is also from the water element. We're gonna look at what that means, because this may be a third party or someone that is key to the situation. So the fish loves to be subsumed in life's current. Nothing pleases it more than movement, and more movement. The roaming lifestyle of the fish may be exhilarating for a while, but usually leads to weariness and slippery relationships. With all the possibilities out there in the vast waters, the fish becomes lost without clear goals and intentions. So basically, they're very adaptable and they travel really well, but when out of balance, they're distracted and they change their mind quite often. So basically, they're very go with the current, go with the crowd. So I'm feeling a mother figure, like they're a person that they grew up with, like a mother figure, or a father, like it's a close family kind of situation. You know what I mean? So this is like something that is generational, or something that person B grew up with. Yeah, it seems like it's family. It seems like it's family. Could be mother or father figure, could be siblings, but it seems like it's a mother or a grandmother. That's what I'm feeling. All right, so let's look at obstacles or challenges you might face. Oh god, my cards are so clingy. I never know what kind of cards are gonna come up because they're so clingy. Okay, obstacles or challenges you might face. Okay, we have the Four of Wands, which is all about commitment and a long-term commitment, as in like trust. The Four of Wands for me is kind of like the four walls of a home. If one wall is wonky, the other, like the whole thing can collapse. So if this comes up as an obstacle or challenge, then this is a very bad sign that a relationship or a long-term commitment can be a challenge. Okay, obstacles or challenges you might face. The Three of Cups. Obstacles or challenges. Oh, there you go, the Devil. That was what I was waiting for. Wait, what was that? That was what I was waiting for. There you go. What the hell? All right. So basically, we got the two amazing cards, which are usually very positive. We have the Four of Wands, which is usually about long-term commitment, really a very well established relationship, trust, a home, a future, basically. And then we have the Three of Cups, which is usually a card of social events, friendship, community, like feeling like you belong, you know what I mean? But then we have the Devil. And these two cards, good cards usually, being in the obstacle kind of situation or challenge is not a very good sign for long term. Now, what I'm interpreting by this, I'm gonna put up the cards. I'm gonna show you the cards. Here you go. So this is for Four of Wands, Three of Cups, the Devil. Yeah. All right. So basically, I'm gonna leave these here. So basically, what am I feeling? The Four of Wands, let's start one by one. The Four of Wands being an obstacle, like I said, you're gonna have a hard time to make plans for the long term. As in dating this person, as in meeting them with the three, as in like finding a common goal, which is also the Three of Cups. Because the Three of Cups is all about community, right? And if you're in a community, you have to reach a middle ground where everybody agrees with, you know what I mean? Agrees to. So you may have a hard time to kind of like either make plans or like make them comfortable, make each other comfortable, basically. I'm feeling heavily that you're watching, you are person A. Heavily. That's why I'm only heavily channeling this side of the dynamic. But if you are person B, then you're gonna have a hard time with commitment. And person A is gonna have a hard time to get them to commit to you. Trust is also something that doesn't happen because person B doesn't trust person A completely. They don't hold secrets. It's kind of like they're not a very open book. They don't share much, only when they need to, because they're just, I wouldn't say overactive, it's over functioning. When they can, where they can't slow down, you know what I mean? That's kind of like what I'm feeling. It's kind of challenges and obstacles you might face is basically this ongoing cycle of not being able to fully commit, hot and cold. And person B may not understand this because they've seen this dynamic and they feel, because of the fish, they feel like this is the dynamic, like they only know this and they don't know better. But that's why person A wants them so much, because they don't know better. They can know better. If they knew better, perhaps person A would just leave because they don't want to be better. But because they don't know better, they want to stay. All right, we're gonna try again. So that's why. I'm not even sure where it stopped, but that's why. Oh my God! Stop. So basically, my phone keeps stopping. I don't know. So basically, person A feels the potential, but they want a future. And I I honestly don't feel like they it's possible with person B. Or to the very least, like it's gonna be very hard to make them to commit to kind of like you're gonna have to. It's basically pushing a cartwheel, that is very heavy, full of stuff. You'd have to manage all of that, manage the weight, see if you actually can pull that or push. Wait, pull, push. If you can push that. um, Not only just your baggage, because that emotional intelligence comes from somewhere, right? Because of all the things that you went through. I'm not gonna repeat myself because you already got the point. Alright, so that's basically it. Like the obstacles or challenges that you might face. You also may face some sort of, like I said, third party, as in their friends could be an issue. Alright. My phone keeps stopping, so I don't know anymore. Alright, so, like I was saying, their friends could be an issue. They could be some sort of jokesters. They're also very easily. Person B is very easily influenced. So the Three of Cups being here and also being the card of friendship, their friends could be like an influence in their life where they can't. It influences their decisions basically and their actions. There's a lot of control from the past as well. The whale is always so worried about the starfish, and the starfish is also always leaning on the whale, that perhaps a temporary separation is needed because of that codependency. So instead of creating this codependency and like leaning on each other and clinging and then becoming a little unhealthy, perhaps a temporary separation to work on oneself is needed for you guys to come back together from a better place. From a place of, like, I want to build together instead of I want you to build me, right? Then the Mother of Wands, like I said, is about nurturing, but also with the Nine of Pentacles is not only nurturing on self, but doing the inner work will nurture the relationship. Does that make sense? And basically learning that, I want to be with you, I want to protect you, I want to take care of you, and vice versa. I want to be with you, I want you to take care of me, I want you to love me, to be with me, but I need to make these changes so I can meet you in the middle. And the Seven of Cups is basically a card of, you don't need to completely stop talking. You can still talk, but you're gonna be a lot more focused on yourself and your own individuality. You can still talk and ask for the assistance, for example, starfish, like the spiritual help and the emotional help, you know what I mean? You can still ask for those things, but keeping the conversations lighter instead of only focused on the healing or only focused on, the leaning on, the always constantly worrying about them and all of those things. Keeping the conversations lighter will help immensely the sort of dynamic that you both have right now. So basically, your guidance is to move forward in a lighter aspect, like talk, but if you want, but to not lean on each other so heavily. Work on yourselves. The whale could also ask oneself, like, why do I feel the need to help them so much, and what areas of my life have I lacked looking at, and go from there. The starfish is what I said, you can ask for help, so on and so forth. And yeah, like a minute, like a moment for yourselves. That's what I mean. A moment for yourselves where you can sit down with yourself and reflect on what needs improvement, what needs change, and what needs to completely stop. So that's your individual journey. That's where your journey starts. Perhaps starfish and the whale, that's where you pick up on. Does that make sense? Because I don't want to get into more details. All right. So this is the guidance that I have for you. My phone keeps turning off, not turning off, but stopping the recording. But I hope this helped you. There's gonna be an extended reading, all right, where I'm gonna be looking at more individual things rather than just general. And yeah, I hope to see you there. If not, I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, here we are. Alright, so hello group number 2, welcome to your reading. Hi, this is my beautiful face. Alright, so like I said, we're gonna be looking at both of energies of A and B. I'm not gonna say which one are you, we're just going to identify them, and we're gonna go from there. So yeah, let's see, who is this? Where's the there we go. So who is A for number 2? Who is A? We have the Yena, and it's pouring rain right now. We have Yena for number A for person A. And who is person B? Who is person B? And we have the fire ant for person B. So this is a very unique dynamic, and it's pissing it down, mate. It's very bad. Alright, so we're gonna be looking at both of them. They are the earth element, if I am not mistaken, or the fire element. Yeah, they're the fire element. And let's look at the Yena first, which is person A. So, Yena, the Yena personality is a jokester and crowd pleaser, but below the surface, there are unfulfilled dreams to be realized. When the Yena card appears, it's basically a time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humor to express your truth. So perhaps person A is very sarcastic, and they perhaps express their pain as sarcasm, as in, oh, that fucking hurt, you know what I mean? Basically, this person perhaps uses jokes to hide old resentments in relationships, or anything else, or to mask things that they feel uncomfortable discussing. So basically, they don't take themselves seriously, neither do they take other people seriously. They're always using sarcasm and humor. But they're very charming, they're witty, and they're fun to be around. But when it comes to serious things, they're just not it, basically, okay? So yeah, that's the Yena person, that's person A. Person B is a fire ant. The fire ant energy flares up without us noticing. It's basically the force that attracts us to people, situations that feed our imbalances rather than those that counter them. So basically, you may also do this. You may also be a jokester. Or you may not take your emotions seriously or other people's emotions seriously, but I feel like it's more towards yourself, as in person B. Gossiping and blaming are a few indicators that misaligned fire ant energy is at play. So basically, you may be a mirror towards one another. You may also find yourself stewing on a person or situation, only making things worse. So basically, you have a hard time breaking free from the drama and cool down. You may be an Aries, actually, or Scorpio. Scorpio are also, you may be an Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or Scorpio, because it's very fiery. Fire ants are surprisingly sensitive, so you may pretend that the heat isn't getting to you, but you're very thoughtful and disciplined. But it's basically feed off of each other to create this imbalance. That's Sienna and the fire ants. Now, their energy towards the connection. So basically, Anna's energy towards the connection. Let's see. Anna's energy. We have the Two of Pentacles reversed, which is the imbalance that we discussed. Their energy towards the connection. Anna's energy towards the connection. Yeah, you guys are a mirror towards one another. We have the Ten of Swords. And it's kind of like this trauma bond. It seems like you guys bond over your traumas and your trauma responses. Yeah. Alright, what's the energy that the fire ants towards the energy? Wait, what's ants' energy towards connection? There you go. Fire ants' energy towards the connection. We have the Father of Wands. What else? And the Three of Swords. Reversed. It reversed on me. So it seems like you guys are basically jokesters towards one another. You don't take emotions seriously. You have a lot of fun, that's for sure. You're very charming. It's kind of like you have fun, but when it comes to actual emotions, you use sarcasm and jokes to make yourselves feel better. You are a mirror towards one another, that's for sure, and you bond over your traumas. This is called a trauma bond, I think. Alright, so the energy that Diana has towards this connection is the Ten of Swords and the Two of Pentacles reverse. The Two of Pentacles reverse is all about unbalance or imbalance. It's basically, this connection could be very one-sided. The fire ant could be a lot more sensitive to things, and they may get very upset when the hyena doesn't understand their emotions, and they're just kind of like always joking around about serious things. So the hyena has a very imbalanced approach to the connection. I also got the Ten of Swords, which is a card about betrayal and trust issues, basically, where the hyena could have been stabbed in the back really, really bad, and they're just kind of like very, they're not it. I just don't want to deal with this shit, basically. So it seems like their energy is very, they just want to fuck around. They do not take the fire ants' responses or emotions or whatever that is very seriously. Never, and not even themselves. So it's very mirrory. That's what I'm feeling. And they may also make the fire ant accountable or responsible for perhaps the fire ant calls them out on their bullshit, because they get really fiery and very angry very easily. And the hyena could make the fire ant feel guilty for feeling mad or angry at the hyena because of that lack of understanding, you know what I mean, emotional understanding. So it seems like the hyena is not very good to be around serious subjects, because they're always going to use jokes and sarcasm to talk about difficult things or to not talk about them at all. So when the fire ant gets upset, the hyena makes a joke. So it's not really good. Now, the energy that fire ant has towards this connection is the Father of Wands. This is a person that is very loyal. This is a person that is very reliable as well, and they hold themselves really high. So they feel extremely disrespected when they're talking about certain things that is very important to them, and they hear sarcasm or a joke in return. So it's very disrespectful to them, and they get angry. The fire ant gets angry really, really easily, and they just they don't explode, but the energy is very intense. That's what I'm trying to say. In the Three of Swords reverse, this is basically they are very forgiving, but when they get angry again, well, I wouldn't say they bring it up again, but you always do this shit, like you never understand me, so on and so forth. Like you never take me seriously. It's kind of like this, I wouldn't say power movement or power struggle, but the Yena doesn't give a shit, while the fire ant doesn't give a shit at all either, but they are more concerned about serious situations, and they get frustrated and irritated and mad with the Yena because they do not take anything seriously. They want to like swirl around the subject, especially when the subject is about the Yena. So it's a struggle. It's struggle land for the fire ant. It's not really pleasant. And that's what I'm feeling the most, is the lack of respect. The disrespect, basically, that the fire ant feels when the Yena uses sarcasm to avoid certain topics that are important to the fire ant, and so on and so forth. Like, the Yena brings a lot of imbalance, that's for sure. They feed off of each other's imbalance. Yeah. All right. So this is what I have for the first section. Now we're gonna be talking about the obstacles or challenges that you might face. We already saw one that is taking each other seriously, especially the Yena. So obstacles or challenges that the Yena and the fire ant might face. The Three of Cups reversed. Not feeling accepted or understood. That's one. We have the Three of Swords again, but in this time it's upright. Ooh, that flew. And the Lovers reversed. So, okay. So basically, the obstacles and challenges that you might face with each other is, I'm gonna say, firstly, from the Yena's perspective, the Yena may not feel accepted, might feel misunderstood because they use sarcasm and jokes as a self-defense mechanism, or a coping mechanism to swivel around, but they do not understand that they do this. Like, it's just hard for them, and they've always done this, so they may feel misunderstood. Like, I don't mean to disrespect you, I just don't want to talk about it. And they don't say this. They don't say that I feel this uncomfortable discussing this subject, so can we change subject? You know what I mean? Instead of communicating that, they take jokes. They use sarcasm, and it's not really good to discuss good, like, serious things, because it's kind of like they wanna be the jokester. They don't want to be taken seriously. They like, don't take me seriously, right? It's like a motto. So words may hurt a lot, like their own mind hurts them. It's just kind of like I'm hearing like they're a victim of their own minds, because they don't want to discuss the important things, the serious things, because it bothers them. Like, it makes them uncomfortable. They don't like to feel uncomfortable, so that's why they use sarcasm, to make themselves feel better, to soothe themselves, right? So basically, that's a challenge for them, is to feel accepted and understood, and to kind of like express, you know what I mean? But the fire ant also feels misunderstood, because of the Hyena's behavior, because the Hyena cannot understand that those subjects are important, those emotions are important to be discussed. So the fire ant wants to be understood, the Hyena wants to be understood, but the fire ant gets frustrated, and it hurts to like talk about certain things that are important or urgent, or like we need to talk about this. And they don't feel that connection. They feel like they can't express themselves. They feel like they won't be heard, so they keep quiet. It's very hard for both of them. So your challenge for both Yenna and the fire ant is to be heard and understood. And especially Yenna is to look at those self-coping mechanisms as it's not healthy in certain situations. When it's important, it's not healthy to be sarcastic or a jokester or anything in between. You can still be yourself by being a jokester and use sarcasm when the time is right, when it's time to kind of like to be playful, to kind of like play with the other person, to joke around with the other person. But when the fire ant wants to be serious and talk about serious things, you cannot use the sarcasm and jokes, because that will hurt the fire ant and that's not gonna work. They'll eventually move on because it's just frustrating, right? So basically, and the fire ant's challenge is to understand that side of the Yenna and not get so fired up, basically. To understand that you're both individuals, you're both different, but it's just you gotta meet in the middle. You gotta compromise with one another, especially the Yenna about the jokester and the sarcasm. It's not gonna work either way, you know? So those are your challenges and obstacles, is to be respected and understood by each other, your own individualities, and knowing when to be one or be the other, right? So let's talk about the strengths that you bring to the relationship, to the connection. Strengths you bring to the relationship. We're going to be looking at the Yenna first. Strengths that the Yenna brings to the relationship. I feel like being a jokester is really good because it just makes everything feel better. We got the Son of Wands reversed in the Five of Cups. Okay, strengths that the fire ant brings to the connection. We have the Five of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. Alright, so the strength for the Yenna, we have someone that is not, they don't jump around. And what I mean by this is basically that they don't go from one person to another. They're focused. They kind of like, when they feel understood, when they feel like they can be themselves, they can be jokesters and be their authentic self, they like to stay with that person. They like to make them laugh. They like to make things better with the Five of Cups, because they feel each other's emotions. They feel your emotions, the fire ant's emotions. They feel the sadness. They know it's difficult to talk about sad things and difficult situations. So they use to lighten up the mood. They're very good to lighten up the mood. They're very good at kind of like helping other people not focus so much on the bad things and looking at the brighter side with their jokes. So that is both a good thing when it's the right time and a bad thing when it's not appropriate. All right. So the strengths that the fire ant brings to the relationship is exactly what the Yenna needs, is talk about the bad things. Is talk about the things that bring tension, that bring discomfort, basically. I got the Five of Wands. This is a card of tension, arguments, competition. So fire ant is very competitive. So they make a good duo, basically, because the jokester wants to play all the time, wants to be playful, and the fire ant is a competitor. So they're always like intertwining and mingling and stuff, you know what I mean? So it is fun. But they also like to talk about the things that make you uncomfortable. So it's really good for the Yana to grow. And it's also about the fire. Like I feel like they're very motivated by anger. They're very motivated by anger. So it's kind of like, oh, you don't want to talk about this, but I want to talk about it. So we're gonna talk about it, right? Like their anger is their fuel, basically. Yeah. So that's a good thing. When things are wrong, then they are wrong, and we are going to talk about this. We are going to discuss it. In a good way or in a bad way, but we are, you know. We also got the Six of Pentacles. This is all about giving and taking. This is about charity, and like spending quality time. I feel like the fire ant is very, they're very giving of their time and attention. I wouldn't say they get obsessed, but they're very committed to not only fixing the problem, but also to the person. They're very committed to the person in question. So commitment is not even a question for the fire ants. They're very set on that. They're very good with commitment and sharing. They're like, perhaps their love language is acts of service. You know, buying things or doing something for the other person, like, you know, things, showing with acts. Like, let me give you an example. Like, Diana went to, had a really long day at work, and the fire ant is at home. They're gonna clean the house. They're gonna do something. They're gonna cook. They're gonna, you know, perhaps act of service is cooking, you know, like acts of service, like your love language is cooking, is the flavors, is the sensations, you know what I mean? It's really good. So I feel like they make a very good duo, but the Hannah needs to learn when to be sarcastic and a jokester, and the fire ant needs to learn how to manage their anger. Okay? Alright. Sorry, I'm moving around. So what can you do to attract a relationship with them? We're going to be looking at both the Yena's perspective and the fire ant's perspective, because I'm not entirely sure if you are the Yena or the fire ants. So we're going to be looking at the Yena. What can we got the High Priestess, the Yena, do to attract a relationship with the fire ants? Alright. Temperance. Yeah. Alright. And what can the fire ants do to attract a relationship with the Yena? I got the Nine of Pentacles. I saw the Emperor there. The Father of Pentacles, but that thing flipped. I flipped. Jesus, Seven of Cups. So, from the Yena's perspective, the Yena can attract a relationship with the fire ant by finding the middle term. Basically, what I've been saying is knowing when to be one and knowing when to be the other. Knowing when to be serious and how to be serious. That's a learning curve for a jokester. They don't know when to be serious, how to be serious, and how can they come across as that without losing the jokester in them, without losing their essence, because being a jokester is really good when done in the right time. So basically finding that balance, that kind of like midterm, not doing too much of one thing, not becoming just one version. It's just basically knowing the right time. And the High Priestess is really good for that. It's basically tuning into their intuition instead of tuning into their fear of talking about certain topics that may hurt, or difficult situations or difficult emotions. Like they'll need to understand that for a relationship to work, they need to talk about difficult things that make them feel uncomfortable. They need to listen to their intuition, because their intuition is better than their fear. So basically, that's what they need to do in order to attract a relationship with the fire ant, because the fire ant wants to be understood. They want to be heard. They want to be respected. And being a jokester and using sarcasm when they're talking about difficult things and their emotions specifically, that's not gonna work. Like, being a jokester is really good when you're having a good time, because the fire ant loves that. They love competing. They love the fire of, those jokes. But when the time for being a jokester stops is when the fire ant wants to talk about things that they're hard. So that's how you can attract, the hyena can attract a relationship with the fire ant. Now the fire ant, what they need to do to attract a relationship with the hyena is to the Seven of Cups is a card about having options. The complexity of emotions, like what you feel from day to day, is not just one emotion. You feel a lot of emotions, and sometimes a lot of emotions at the same time. You can feel sadness, but also feel relief. You can feel happiness, but also feel sad. You can feel gratitude, but also feel, I wouldn't say despair, but because that's totally the opposite, but feel gratitude and feel bliss. That's also similar. You can feel a bunch of things at the same time. The emotions, emotions are very complex, and if you understand that, if you go deeper than that, you can understand the hyena better. Not getting so caught up in your anger, in your disrespect, and the feeling of being disrespect, but also being more compassionate towards the hyena. Of course, like, you can't, you shouldn't manipulate yourself into, like, the hyena is doing this because they're afraid of serious situations. But I need to talk about this, so I'll have to talk about it. You shouldn't manipulate yourself into thinking this way, right? So it's kind of like understanding, but also not falling into that sort of illusion, right? But understanding them better would help you also. And Nine of Pentacles is also kind of like a card of independence. To me, is, having this safe haven for oneself to express. For example, if you feel very fired up and you need to take something off of your chest and you feel like it's not a good time for the hyena, you can do it yourself by writing, by painting, by recording a video or something like this to get it out of your chest, because the hyena is not someone that can be dumped. Not be dumped, but you can't dump all of your emotions and all of your dramas or all of your situations into. They need time, they need consistency, and they need to kind of like learn how to deal with all of these situations. So if you have a personal safe haven to do all those things, you can not only help yourself, but also help the hyena to kind of like learn how to be serious, when to be serious, and perhaps the heavier things to keep it to yourself, or your journaling, not dump everything. into the Yana. So they learn how to manage hard situations, but going softer. You know what I mean? So this is how you can attract a relationship with the Yana. It's basically understand their emotions better, knowing when to, and starting like softer approach or softer situations so they can learn, and not kind of like this happened and it's really, really bad. You know what I mean? They don't have the capacity, they don't have the intelligence to do so, to absorb, eat it, digest it, and they don't have the capacity to do that just now. So just yet. So do it slowly, but don't stop doing it. Do it slowly in a more manageable way, more digestive way for the Yana, while still talking about difficult things, so they can learn and you can talk about the situation that is bothering you so much. If you need a technique to self-soothe or to calm yourself or something like this, do what makes you feel better without dumping it directly into the Yana. Alright? Alright, so let's see. My phone is about to die. Let's see. Guidance moving forward to both of these amazing creatures. We got the Six of Wands reversed. Guidance moving forward. We got the Mother of Swords, which is the Queen of Swords. Oh, damn. All right. We have the Ten of Swords and the Hermit reversed. So I feel like the Hermit reversed is more of a forewarning rather than guidance, because the Hermit reversed is a card of imposed isolation, as in you have no control over this, as in if things get worse, then you actually may part ways and never talk again. Forewarning. You have no control over this. It's kind of like the universe, God, Mother Earth, whatever you believe in, is imposing this self-isolation or this separation without any warning, and you have no control over. So basically, forewarning. Alright, so guidance moving forward is to basically, like I said, start small. Because the Six of Wands is a card about victory, a card about achievements, success. And being reversed, it's not going as well as you want. So it's basically taking baby steps or reevaluating your approach, whether you are the Yena or the Fire Ant. Reevaluating your approach and making changes accordingly. Like, if your approach is not working, then what do you need to change? Do you need to do this way? Do you need to reevaluate how you talk, how you present yourself? If you're the Yena, do you need to be a jokester all the time? When are you using sarcasm? Is it to defend yourself, or is it because you're having a good time? You know what I mean? And if you're the Fire Ants, how are you dumping your anger into the Yena and making them feel bad? You know what I mean? So it's basically, things aren't going as you want. So take it as a lesson. What do you need to change, and how can you change them? Because if you don't change, then things are not going to work. The Ten of Swords is a card about betrayal and feeling disrespected and kind of like things going the complete opposite that you want, and feeling like defeated. So the Hermit here is saying, like, you need to change this as soon as possible, otherwise you're gonna have to end up parting ways because you're hurting one another. So you need to take a step back and reevaluate your situation, your approach, and how can you change that from a perspective of here, not here, from this perspective and not this perspective. Not at all. Because if you use this, then you're gonna end up making a mistake. You're gonna end up hurting yourself, and it's just not there. If you do this, then you see things objectively and you know what to do. So basically, that's what both of you need to do, whether you are the Hyena or the Fire Ant. This goes both ways. You need to evaluate your approach and change accordingly if you want this to work. Otherwise, it's just not going to at all. All right, so this is what I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to know more, we're gonna have an extended version. The link will be in the description. And yeah, we're gonna be talking about what you need to do or you need to work individually before you get together, what you need to work on as a couple, what lessons can you learn from the past that will benefit you in this one, how can you build trust in a relationship, and also what is the potential for a long-term relationship with one another. So this is what I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe down below for more videos like this if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Hello, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, we are going to be talking about if you're together, how would it look like. We're going to be checking the energy A versus B instead of yours versus theirs, because it can get mixed up. You can be mirrors towards one another. So we're going to be talking about energies, not necessarily people. Alright, so who is A for group number 3? Who's A? Who's A? Ooh, that flew off of my hand. Right, we have Buffalo for A. And who is, Jesus, who's B? That's Phoenix. Alright, so, alright. So let's talk about each of these things. I can't speak. Alright, we're going to be talking, we're going to be reading a little bit because I'm not entirely familiar about animal spirits and animal energies, but I feel like these are the best ways to represent someone. Alright, the buffalo is, I think it's the earth element, yeah. Earth element, here we go. So, the hooves of the mighty buffalo are grounded in the earth, yet its heart and mind rise toward heaven. The buffalo sees challenge, hardship, or a bump in the road as an opportunity for upliftment. Therefore, the buffalo does not fear death, illness, or misfortune. Its gentle eyes look to the road ahead, trusting every turn. May we all experience this elusive yet life-changing bliss from time to time, and may we allow this card to remind us that life is a precious gift. Aww. So this person A, is very trusting, they have a pure presence, they're very grounded, yet heavenly, practical, yet spiritual. This person is really well balanced in this plane, as in the earth plane, alright? And they're very knowledgeable as well, that's what I'm sensing. And then we have the phoenix, which is a spirit element. The phoenix represents the transformation of our past. It doesn't mean running from it, denying it, or burning bridges with rage. The phoenix employs an advanced technique described in yoga as the burning of impurities through practice and dedication. The essence of the phoenix is with us when we realize we have been suffering too long and something must change. We take a stand and decide to live consciously instead of being driven by the unconscious mind and its long list of fears and aversions. At that very moment, the spark of the phoenix is lit, and the great bird helps us burn through our baggage. We no longer run from who we are, what has happened to us, or what we have done. The stuckness and dead weight fall into the ashes, and the lightness and clarity emerge. As the stagnancy continues to smolder, the phoenix lifts our spirits up, and we begin to recognize ourselves again. We may catch a glimmer in our eye that wasn't there before. Look closely. It's a sign that the fire of transformation is upon our wings. So it seems like person A and person B are highly spiritual. They are not afraid at all to be themselves and to kind of like make mistakes as well, to admit that they made a mistake and grow from it. They're very, I wouldn't say unapologetic, but they're very forgiving, and they have a very high tolerance for people, especially towards one another. They are highly compatible. And it's just kind of like I feel like they don't push, but they incentivate, they make each other want to be better, you know what I mean? So it is really good. Their energy, their synergy is really high and really good. So it is beautiful to see. All right, so that's A and B. So we're gonna be looking at their energy towards the connection. So Buffalo's energy towards the connection. Buffalo's energy towards the connection. Oh, we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is nice to see. Duckos! Sorry. It's nice to see the Eight of Cups as well. What about the Phoenix? What's the Phoenix? Phoenix's energy towards the connection. What's the Phoenix energy towards the connection? Oh, damn. We have the Four of Wands and the Three of Cups. So I feel like Buffalo's energy towards the connection is, the Wheel of Fortune is basically always turning, right? But it seems like the Buffalo makes the most of it when life gives it lemons, they make a lemonade, and when life gives it thunder, they make magic. Does that make sense? Like thunder magic. So it's basically they're very adaptable. The Wheel of Fortune is basically it's always starting, so it's kind of like it's never stopping. So they're very adaptable and very highly spiritual. They go with the flow, basically. With the Eight of Cups, it's kind of like they don't let not the bad, but like the sad emotions get to them. They're very adaptable. I feel like they recognize when you need to leave, or when kind of like something is just not working. They're very communicative as well. They're very observing, very adaptable as well. So they're kind of like this energy is very uplifting from the previous groups, because it's adaptability, it's not stuckness, you know what I mean? It's always changing. And I feel like the Buffalo right now is perhaps going through something, because the Eight of Cups is usually about leaving something behind emotionally, knowing that it's just not working. So they may be leaning towards the Phoenix because they may have gone through something similar, or they may have a lot of knowledge, although the Buffalo is highly spiritual, and they have a lot of knowledge as well. They may be leaning towards the Phoenix for more knowledge or for more guidance, it seems, right? So the Phoenix, their energy towards the connection is with the Four of Wands and the Three of Swords. This is basically coming to peace with the past, like soothing the buffaloes, soothing their pain. It's kind of like finding peace within the pain, within the painful past, right? And kind of like having this sort of closure. Phoenix, it's kind of like you went through that, but you survived, right? It's kind of like making the buffalo see their power in their pain, see their worth, see their fire through the pain. So it's kind of like this push and pull of flow, right? Of energy. It's always like giving, receiving, like giving, receiving knowledge, giving, receiving time and essence. And it's just beautiful to see, right? They're very dedicated. I wouldn't say dedicated, but it's very, what's it called? They are very good towards one another. They're very healthy. They're just here to help one another. And it seems like the energy is just very calm, very knowledgeable, very just present. It's very present. Yeah, it's really nice. Alright, so what obstacles or challenges you might face if you were together? What obstacles or challenges would the buffalo and phoenix face if they were together? Jesus, my cards are so old. They're clinging to one another. So I always, I always have to shuffle like that. I have the Hanged Man reversed, the Mother of Wands with challenges. Climbing might they face if they were together? Okay. So, what I'm sensing is because of the high spiritual energy, they may forget to be human. They may forget to live, to have the human experience, because they're highly spiritual. They're highly spiritual beings. So they're always kind of like doing the work, meditating, doing all the spiritual stuff that perhaps they forget to be. Just be. Like, not looking for something to get better at, not looking for something to work with or work on. It's just basically be. I got the Daughter of Pentacles and the Son of Pentacles. They may struggle to just be, just have fun, just live, be in the moment. Although the buffalo is very grounded, I feel like their spiritual side comes out a lot more often with the phoenix rather than with other people. Because the buffalo is kind of like a mentor to other people. They're very used to guide. They're not very used to being guided. And so the phoenix is basically their guide, their mentor. They hold so much knowledge that they're always sharing, right? And it's just, sometimes they may forget to just be, to just live, be in the moment, plan something, to just kind of like, they forget their essence, their primal essence, right? Their shyness, the things that make them shiver, you know what I mean? Like the human experience, like you get shivers sometimes, you get butterflies in your stomach sometimes. It's just normal, right? It's just being human. And sometimes they may forget that. They may just be so caught up in their spiritual practice, individual and together, that they forget to just go out on dates, just be in love, you know what I mean? Just be, right? I got the Hanged Man reverse, and this to me is kind of like unnecessary sacrifices that perhaps you may notice later. And not to say, you know, it's all gone or that you've lost your chance or it's just kind of like wasted time, but it's basically a way to say like you don't need to give that up. Just have to remind yourself sometimes that you're human as well, and all those emotions as a human are worth living for. You don't have to give up your humanity or your spirituality to be spiritual or to be human. You know what I mean? Like you can be both. You should be both. And nurture, it's kind of like nurturing your human side is also nurturing your spiritual side, and vice versa, because it's also, all of it is part of who you are and the experience that you're having. So it's basically, you may struggle to nurture both sides and be one or be the other. You may struggle to be both together, right? So, but I feel like it's something that it's easy to learn. You may struggle with it because you're highly spiritual, but I feel like it's something easy to manage, right? Whereas the other groups were a lot of shadow work and a lot of things that they needed to work on. But this is just something that can come off, can come naturally. You just have to remind yourself that you're also human. You just have to nurture it as much as you nurture as much as you nurture your spiritual practice, inside and knowledge, basically. All right. So you may struggle with this, but I feel like it comes easy to you. That was my lipstick that just fell off. So strengths both of you bring to the relationship. Strengths the buffalo brings to the relationship. Oh, we got the Son of Pentacles once more. They're very steady. The Son of Pentacles is very steady. They're always planning. They don't like to improvise. I got also the Eight of Pentacles. Strengths that the Phoenix bring to the table. Damn, Seven of Cups. The complexity of the emotions, which is really good. They understand that we do not only feel one thing, we feel a bunch of things, and we have a lot more options than we see, right? So let's start with the buffalo. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Let's start with the buffalo. Basically, the strengths that the buffalo brings to the relationship is the being steady, being consistent and very hardworking, very like attentive, very they like, I wouldn't say they like to please, but they like to see the other person pleased with them. They're very detailed as well, perfectionist. So they like all of that. So kind of like, if you want that sort of thing, that's the strength that they have. If you struggle with consistency or something that is solid, like plans, sometimes spirituality makes us just do whatever. You know what I mean? Like, be spontaneous, right? Because sometimes we like spontaneity. We do crave spontaneity. But I'm talking from personal experience. But sometimes plans, that's what grounds us, that's what brings us down. So the buffalo can ground the Phoenix for sure, by also bringing stability and consistency. Now, with the Phoenix, the strengths of the Phoenix is basically understanding the complex of the emotions. I like to look at the Seven of Cups, which is usually a card of a bunch of emotional choices, right? And illusions sometimes. I like to look at it from a spiritual perspective, in this case, as the complexity of emotions. You can feel sad, but also feel relieved at the same time. You can feel disappointed, but also like happy at the same time, because it's weird, right? Like, this person, you can feel disappointed, and if this person apologized and recognized, you can still feel disappointed, but you're happy that they admitted it, like, right? So it's just all of these complex things, and it goes deeper than that. It's just not the surface. And the Phoenix knows that they're one of a kind, because in this deck we have all of these cups turned up, and this one in the middle is turned upside down. So it's just kind of like, they know that they're not for everyone, and not everyone is for them. So that makes them unique. That makes them like, if you're with me, then you're with me. You know what I mean? Like, you're, I wouldn't say you're mine, but I'm with you. You're with me. We're with each other. Like, it's just this, it's commitment, basically. And the complexity of being together. The Phoenix has it. And also, the Two of Swords is basically, it's usually about being confused, but seeing it as a strength, I feel like they think a lot. It's kind of like having a breakthrough. So I feel like the strength of a Phoenix, in this case with the Two of Swords, is they easily have breakthroughs when they're confused. they may take time to analyze everything because of the Seven of Cups being about illusion and having multiple sources. But they kind of like, they have it. They have the ability to have a breakthrough in the midst of chaos. They have the ability to remain calm in the midst of chaos. And they know if they make the wrong choice, then whoopsie. You know what I mean? They don't hold resentment towards themselves. Like, it makes them grow. It's always a lesson to grow. And it's part of their journey to, sometimes we do make the wrong choices, and that's normal. We don't know everything, but they take it as a lesson to grow instead of something to punish themselves with. You know what I mean? So that is what both Buffalo and the Phoenix bring to the relationship. It's this grounded approach to the situation, but also very motivational, and they have this love for learning and evolving and becoming better. So I feel like they do complement each other really, really well. All right. What can you do to attract a relationship with them? We're going to start with the Buffalo. What can the Buffalo do to attract a relationship with the Phoenix? We've seen that being consistent and grounded, and I wouldn't say perfectionist, but practical is something that lures the Phoenix. So we're gonna take a look at that. What can the Buffalo do to attract a relationship with the Phoenix? We got Justice. Okay. What else? Ooh. Temperance. And the Magician. So like I said, the consistency, the balance, I feel like not doing too much or not doing too little is the right amount of magic, I would say, that the Buffalo needs to attract a relationship with the Phoenix, because the Phoenix is looking for stability. They do not want someone that is inconsistent and unstable or unreliable. They want someone that they can spend their life with. They want a long life partner, basically. So if the Buffalo acts out of integrity, justice, truth, clarity, balance, moderation, and just basically be a normal human being, and grounds them and is 100% honest and true and authentic, then they can easily draw the Phoenix towards them. And basically, I feel like with the Magician here, they have all the tools at their disposal to make that happen. So if you are the Buffalo, you are already on the right path. Alright, the Phoenix. What can the Phoenix do to attract a relationship with the Buffalo? We have Mother of Cups. We have the a lot of cards at the same time. We have those were the other cards. Do not mind those. I do not know. These cards are clunging together. Like, can you see that? They don't move. They just clung together. They're stuck. I don't know how to fix this problem. Do I need to buy another deck like this? Because they're stuck. I can't riffle shuffle them. I can't do anything. Okay. So can the Phoenix do to attract a relationship with the Buffalo? Oh, Four of Wands and Mother of Wands. So the Mother of Wands has been coming up a lot, to be honest. But I feel like the Phoenix, I feel like both of them can easily attract one another into a relationship. Like, that's point on blank. Their energy is flawless. They attract each other naturally, energetically. Like, it's just beautiful to sense and to feel, actually. It's very calm, very gentle, but also very intense. You know what I mean? it seems like the Phoenix, they can do is basically be more nurturing, with the Mother of Cups, like being present, nurturing their side, and like taking care of them. I wouldn't say taking care of them like a baby, but like talking about their emotions, talking about their dreams, like nurturing them, right? And basically talk about their dreams and nurturing their dreams, incentivizing them, you know what I mean? The Four of Wands is also a card about stability, providing that stability, that safe net, like a place for them to go to whenever they're feeling a certain way or any other way, really. It's also about a card about trust, so it's kind of like nurturing the trust, nurturing everything that you can, to make that happen. And the Mother of Wands is to not smother them whenever you're doing this, to allow them to come to you, to nurture, and then letting them go whenever they need to. It's providing that safe space without suffocating them as well. And be protective of your own, basically. So I feel like this is very straightforward. There's not really much I can say aside from both of you are already on the right track to attract a relationship with each other. It's just, I would say, a matter of time. And that's basically it. Now, that's what you can expect if you were to be together, is this amazing chemistry, amazing flow of energy, and flawless, and I mean flawless, connection. Like, it would be amazing. You would just struggle with being present and enjoy, but I feel like you guys can definitely overcome that very easily. Now, guidance moving forward. Got the three of Wands popped out and then popped back up again. What guidance moving forward for Buffalo and the Phoenix? Ace of Cups, Six of Swords. I feel like it's just a matter of saying how you feel, because I got the Seven of Swords, and it feels like one of you or both of you are withholding your feelings for each other, and what you want out of this connection. Because the Seven of Swords is a card about secrecy and cunning and hiding things and stealing and lying. I won't say that you're lying, of course, like, duh. But perhaps being completely honest and letting your heart speak would definitely be the next step, as the Ace of Cups is a card about new feelings, new emotions, perhaps even a new relationship, a new romantic connection where your feelings are just, you know? And then the Six of Swords is a card about progression and transition. So I feel like if you do this, you may actually start a new relationship with a Buffalo if you're the Phoenix, and vice versa. Like, a relationship with each other. It's so effortless. It's just, I can't. I can't. It's so beautiful. I feel like you're not actually saying how you actually feel about each other. There's a lot of hidden feelings that you're, of course, you're, for whatever reason you have, it is valid. Do not tell them how you actually feel. But I feel like the guidance would be opening that door and be honest with each other about how you feel about one another. And I feel like that would definitely open the door for a new relationship. Whether or not you walk into that door, that's totally up to you guys. But it seems like there's a lot of feelings that need to be talked about and these feelings are very positive. So I feel like it is definitely reciprocate. The energy is effortless. I feel calm and happy and ecstatic. So you have something to say, girl. You have something to say. All right. So that is all I have for you today. For the YouTube version, we're going to have an extended version on Gumroad. The link will be in the description if you are interested in purchasing it. Yeah, I hope to see you there, but if not, that's totally okay. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you're not subscribed already. I hope you liked watching my face. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!